You're rocking with King Troll. And I'm your boy, just call me Monty, a.k.a. King Gigawatt. P, just call me Monty. Back with an intro to make your head turn. Wave gang, making it happen. When will they ever learn that we stay strapped with the heat? Some all mass burn and I'm just here to assist. Like Steve Nash, turn back? Nah, never. I'm a goat with the intros. King Troll, EBL shooting, so get low. Squad so exclusive, if you ain't, then it don't matter. Right there's your home, run when we pitch like a nice batter. This battle rap, and when it comes to that, we go talk. Exclusive battle league, man, they think it's a cakewalk. Until they come to battle and get smoked by a killer. Stop sleeping on the league, bet not come with mad filler. We out here, see I move different, just say the word. Call me David with that slingshot, throwing them angry birds. Yeah, it's King Jigger, I'm just talking, so pay attention. This is just the intro, but me snapping was my decision. Wave gang all day, yeah, you heard what I said. Anybody sleeping on us, we gon' put them to bed. It's wave gang all day, yeah, you heard what I said. Don't get it twisted, dread like you got something to dread. It's wave gang all day, yeah, you heard what I said. Anybody sleeping on us, we gon' put them to bed. It's wave gang all day, yeah, you heard what I said. Don't get it twisted, dread like you got something to dread.
Nacho Sundays, every Sunday at 6 p.m. Live on YouTube on the EBL exclusive Battle League Network. Hosted by Fibonacci Brown.
Nacho Sundays, Nacho Sundays, Nacho Sundays. Nacho Sundays, Nacho Sundays, Nacho Sundays. Nacho cheese, beefy, nacho veggie, nacho, nacho supreme, nacho Sunday.
Nacho Sundays. Where it's not your
Sunday.
opinion, it's Nacho's opinion.
Nacho
Hosted by
Sunday.
Fibonacci Brown.
Nacho Sundays. Nacho cheese, beefy, nacho veggie, nacho, nacho supreme,
Nacho Sundays. Where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. Hosted by Fibonacci Brown.
Nacho Sundays. Nacho cheese, beefy, nacho veggie, nacho, nacho supreme, nacho Sundays. Nacho Sundays. Nacho Sundays. Nacho Sundays.
Hosted by Fibonacci Brown. Don't forget to go to FibonacciBrown.com to get your copy of Throwing Down.
Nacho Sundays. Nacho Sundays.
Brought to you by the exclusive Battle League Network. EBL.
Nacho Sundays. Nacho Sunday. What's going on? What up, dope family? You are tuned in to the 14th episode. Yes, the 14th episode of Nacho Sundays, where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. And listen, it's been a minute since we had a chat. And there are quite a few things that we could talk about. So I have definitely hooked up a really good nacho for us to devour this week on the 14th episode of Nacho Sundays. I am your host, Fibonacci Big Nacho Brown, and I am ready. If you are ready to get into this nacho, and as we do every Sunday, we are going to start off with some announcements. So one of the first announcements I want to bring to you is that, of course, this show is on the EBL platform, the EBL network, that stands for Exclusive Battle League, and they are definitely going to bring us a dope collaboration on June 21st. So June 21st, this is going to be the scheme on them card. This is a collaboration between EBL Exclusive Battle League and Bar You to Death, with EBL's very own King and Baz hosting this event. This event is going to be live on YouTube and Caffeine. So from what I understand, there's going to be quite the names on this card. This card is comprised of 3-round and 1-round battles. Jay Normus is on this card. Greg the Great is on this card. Wanson. I do not want to mispronounce this man's name because I don't want to diminish any of the skill he's going to bring to this event. Our very own Innovate is going to be on this card, as well as Mr. Entertainment. So make sure you are tuned in and subscribe to Bar You to Death, as well as Exclusive Battle League Network, because this is going to be a June 21st live event on YouTube and on Caffeine. It is the Scheme on 'em collaboration card with EBL and Bar You to Death, hosted by EBL King and Baz. So make sure you guys pull up for that card. Set your calendars. Now, don't get me wrong. The names that I mentioned are not the extent of the card. There are several other artists involved. I just wanted to name a few. I'm pulling up. I think this card is going to be amazing. I haven't really been let down at all by the collaboration cards between Bar You to Death and EBL. So I'm ready. If you're ready, I can't wait to pull up to this one. And if I'm not mistaken, they are going to have some commentary in between the battles, and that might be hosted by your very own Fibonacci Brown, as well as my co-host, who may definitely be Caliber from Is We Poddin'. So we're gonna see if those are gonna if this gonna fall out like that. But from what I understand, that's what they're cooking up. So I'm looking forward to that, especially if I get to commentate. I do enjoy commentating when I am or helping to facilitate some of the battles on these events. It's a really fun thing to do. So I'm hoping that it falls out that way. Anywho, you also have to make sure that you are subscribed to the EBL network so that you can catch Wave and Blaze. That is every Monday through Friday, starting at, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, starting at 7 a.m. Best morning show on the internet. So make sure you are there at 7 a.m. We don't know how long these shows can go on. That Wave and Blaze show is going to be brought to you by EBL's very own EBL Dave. And if you don't pull up for any other reason to watch Wave and Blaze, pull up for Dave's hairline. It is legendary. It tells its own story no matter what Dave is saying. And from what I understand, it is almost loaded. It is not quite fully loaded, but there's hope. So make sure you pull up to Wave and Blaze at 7 in the morning, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And also make sure you're subscribed to catch Game and Blaze, where you can see our very own EBL Dave playing some of your favorite games and probably losing, but hey, we're going to check it out. So make sure you pull up to catch that. We also have our pop-up podcast by our very own EBL King, and it's called King's Court. That's court with a K. Make sure that you pull up to catch King's Court. King is going to facilitate some of the best conversations and discussions on his show. It's always a good time when you tune in. You never know who's going to pull up. King is legendary out here in these audio streets. And if you don't know, you need to know. So you never know who's going to pull up on his show. So make sure you are subscribed to the EBL Exclusive Battle League Network so that you can catch that pop-up podcast. And then always catch Nacho Sundays. Every Sunday at 6 p.m. I'm right here on the EBL network, and I am also on Fibonacci Brown channel. So you can catch it on my channel, or you can catch it on the EBL network channel. Either way, get your feel of Nacho Sundays. And also, we definitely have a bomb behind the scenes audio team, audio engineering team. I don't want to go further in the episode without giving them their flowers. They do an outstanding job. They even facilitate some of the events behind the scenes. They assist some of our favorite battle rappers a lot of times with making sure that their platforms look the way that they want them to look. And that's going to be a shout out to our very own, who we call Diddy. His name is Commodity, and you can check out some of his work over at commodityproductions.com. Now, that's commodityproductions.com, COMMODITY DITYPRODUCTIONS.com. Make sure you check out Commodity. He has a plethora of talents outside of audio engineering. I really believe that Diddy used to write for John B back in the 90s, but we're gonna find out because he's over there penning some hits, I believe, and we're gonna pry that story out of him one day. Because I hear a little something when Diddy be doing his Diddy. If you would like to also see some of Diddy's work at work on our halftime intermission, you can definitely hear Diddy song bring us back to the show. That is him singing that it's not your time to talk, it's time to listen. That is Commodity. So if you like what you hear, you want to see some more of his work, check him out on Commodity Productions, that's with an S.com. Also, we have our infamously vicious .beatstars.com. This is also one of our talented behind the scenes engineers. He does beats, he does mastering. He far as I know, there isn't too much he doesn't do behind the scenes when it comes to making sure your music is fine-tuned to sound the way that you want it to sound. So make sure you're checking him out over at infamouslyvicious.beatstars.com. And as always, I can't wait to see you over at FibonacciBrown.com. That's FIBONACCIBROWN.com, where you can find my book. Yes, I'm a published author, and I have a volume 1 book called Growing Down, an observation of the masculinization of the Black American woman, volume 1. Get your copy. I am down to my last 2 autograph copies that I will be sending out. So I do encourage you to pull up to FibonacciBrown.com, check out my book so you can get your autograph copy at the introductory rate. After these 2 are gone, I am definitely going to be reintroducing the book at the regular rate. However, if you do want an autograph copy, you can definitely inbox me and we will see what we can do over at FibonacciBrown.com. All right. Anywho, now that we've got the announcements out of the way, okay, we've got to have quite the conversation. But before we get too far into our Nacho, I'm definitely going to slide over to my chat. My chat is a huge part of the Nacho Sunday show. And even though it is Nacho Sundays where it's Nacho opinion, it's Nacho's opinion, and it's the 14th episode, I still like to hear from my chat. My chat is a huge part of the show. So let's see who we have pulling up to see us. I definitely see 2-1 in the chat. My favorite. He always pulls up. I just butterflies. I see Jay Normus in the chat. Thank you for pulling up, Jay Normus. Jay Normus is on that June 21st card I was telling you about called the Scheme on Him card. He is one of the battlers. I'm not sure if he's doing a 1-rounder or a 3-rounder, but whatever he's doing, you're going to want to pull up to find out. So thank you for pulling up to the Nacho Sunday show. Miss Vicious, I appreciate you pulling up. Miss Vicious is one of the newest members to Discord's NWO, which is the New Death Row. And she is, from what I understand, killing it over there. So salute to her. We got Scription Volume in the house. I appreciate them pulling up as well. That is the group that is going to be a part of the summer release of Scription Volume 2. That is a collaboration with myself and 2-1 Illuminous. If you're ready for that Maturated Mind music, you're definitely going to want to catch that drop this summer. One of my faves is in the house. Thank you, SK, for pulling up. I appreciate it. Make sure you tell baby girl TT said, hey, sweet pea. And I see, oh my goodness, Greg the Great is in the building. Greg the Great is also on that June 21st card for the Scheme on Him card. Again, that Scheme on Him card, you're going to miss out if you don't make sure that you're tuned in to pull up to that card. It is going to be a live YouTube and caffeine event. It's a collaboration with EBL and Bar You to Death. So make sure that you are pulling up for that. I'm pulling up for the bars. I know that the 2 names that I said that was in my chat definitely pulling up with the bars. So I can't wait. I hope you guys are over there preparing and ready to go. Greg is talking his junk. Talk your junk, Greg. I see you. Anywho, we are ready to start to devour our Nacho. And as we do every Sunday on Nacho Sundays, where it's Nacho opinion, is Nacho's opinion. We are going to start out with the nacho cheese. And in this edition of Nacho Cheese, where we talk about our money matters and how we can make our money work for us, this is going to be a two-parter, okay? Because I have to bring up what's been going on with some of our younger multimillionaires in the sports environment. Okay. I think some of you know where I'm going with this. Okay. Recently, in the headlines, we have been seeing discussion and concern and chatter about the young basketball player Ja Morant, where he has been what seems to be acting recklessly without what seems to be enough regard for the blessing of his reward for his gifts. He's a very, very talented, very entertaining basketball player to watch. However, it doesn't seem to matter how many millions he has. He seems to show up in the media for all the wrong reasons. He is definitely using weapons, I would think, a little recklessly. I would think someone with so much on the line would be a little more cautious, but I digress. And not to dwell on Ja, but to also include in this discussion what's going on with Zion Williamson in the latest headlines. He has seemed to been out here reckless with his seed and knocking up porn stars that are nearly 10 years his senior. And it seems that when the announcement was made that he did have a child on the way, that he had another woman who came out and claimed like, hey, I didn't know anything about this. I thought this was me and you and me were, we could be potentially with child. So in this edition of Nacho Sundays, Nacho Cheese regarding money, the discussion I want to pose is, are we giving enough guidance and blueprint examples to our young male millionaires who are coming into money rather quickly and maybe haven't had the time to envision exactly what their life would be like with access to so much money at one time? And does that fall on the shoulders of the elder generation? Was it up to the Michael Jordans and the Shaquille O'Neals to show the Ja Morants and the Zion Williamsons how to move when it comes to being young with money? Like, are we really putting the tools out there to prepare young gifted athletes? Like, should they be taught differently in order to be able to handle such an increase in income like this? Like, what, or is there absolutely nothing wrong with 22, 23-year-old Zion Williamson knocking up 31, 30, 32-year-old porn star allegedly? Is there nothing wrong with that? Is there no problem with Ja Morant brandishing a weapon in a regular pickup game of basketball? Is that okay? Because he's who he is, and are we all okay with this? We have to ask ourselves questions as a society that we give passes to people as long as they have money. Like, is that something that we need to look in the mirror and talk about? Because I've been seeing memes that are a little embarrassing when it comes to Ja Morant. I saw a meme that said, It says Ja Morant, first guy to ever come up in the NBA and graduate to the hood. Now that's so funny, not funny, because it's a lot going on when you come from a place where you grew up with the opportunities that a lot of us are growing to. So to have those extended blessings and take advantage of it in a way that makes it seem like you get to be a bully with your weapon because you have money, not because you really see a need or a threat or reason to protect yourself in that way, but just because you feel like I got money and I can do this, or because you feel like the public is going to see it that way and it's not really going to be you might be investing in a place where the repercussion may come from, so they're not going to really say anything. So is it that you can be reckless with who you sleep with? Okay, can you just lay down in the rain with anybody? You don't need a coat. You just out here in the rain. You understand what I'm saying? I know you listen. This is Nacho Sundays, where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. I know you know what I'm talking about. You got people out here to think just because they have money that they can be out here in the rain and leave wet footprints everywhere. Is it the guidance that our younger, wealthier athletes need? Or is it society that needs to correct itself on what it accepts and encourages when it comes to our younger, wealthier athletes? Is it both? Because you listen, I tend to believe that it might be a mix of both as well as some other things, because I still don't have an answer as to why someone who would come from privilege wants so badly to do things that you don't anticipate someone is going to do who comes from privilege. Or is it us as a society? Do we have misguided or skewed preconceived notions about what people with money should appreciate and behave like? Is that on us? Are we expecting too much? Because I don't know, if I grew up with a certain blessing, I would have to think that I would be more appreciative of it than to want to seem like a threat everywhere I go. Because at this point, I think that Ja has definitely built up a reputation of someone you want to maybe be weary of when he's around, because he always think he needs to be trigger happy. And I don't know who's guiding him away from that. So I would want to be cautious. I need an APB out if he's in the area. I need to know. So is that really what he wants to accomplish with his platform of money? Is that what he wants? Where's the guidance to guide him away from that if that's not what the good contribution would be? Zion Williamson. Do we want our athletes who have money running around sleeping with whoever they want just because they have money? What if these men are carrying diseases they money can't take care of? What if they sleeping with women who's might be carrying something that money can't fix? They can't cure penicillin, don't cure everything. You can't pop a Tylenol or a perk or whatever y'all doing these days and fix it all. So is it just okay because they have money? Where is the guidance and the correction going to come from when we have young people who are reckless and think it's okay to be that way just because they have money? What do we do about that as a society? I see a couple of people in my chat. I appreciate you coming through, Wayne. Y'all go check out West Seattle Menace. Make sure you put that into your YouTube search engine and pull up Wayne's album. If what I understand, he's working on some new stuff that is equally or even more hot than the last album. So check that out. Thanks for pulling up, Wayne. I see. Okay, SK said, free Ja. He's a wealthy basketball player who in today's society is a threat to his well-being. So in order to protect himself, I get it. What he's doing is stupid. Yeah. And it's such a divide between the elders and the young adults. There's a divide there because it seems to be like a beef between the young and the old. And when I see instances where that's the clash, and you see young people who are resistant, many times, I'm not going to say all the time because I know some really bitter older people. So I'm not saying all the time, but many times there are elders who are trying to let you know, hey, young blood, you're going to be younger a lot shorter time than you're going to be older. If you're blessed, older is the rest of your life. You'll get to redefine young if you live long enough. So all I'm trying to do is impart a jewel or a nugget to you to just give you some wisdom so you don't have to knock your head. You know, I might be an elder who already knocked my head. I already found out the fire was hot. And I see you running down that same street. So if you don't have to run into the wall I ran into, let me share this with you. And sometimes you get young people who are they're just really they're resistant to it. And I enjoy talking to young people. I really wish that they weren't so resistant, but if I have the water, I'm not going to force you to drink it. I can show you where it is. I can even give you directions. I'll even say kind words over it so you can drink in positivity when you take a sip, but I can't make you drink. So some of that has to be on that generation to seek out those nuggets as well. Be smart enough to know that you don't know. So I understand how sometimes being thrust into such a circumstance where you suddenly have a plethora or access to a plethora of money and finance that you didn't have before, it might create a little paranoia if you haven't spent time thinking about what that life would be like. But being so quick to think that that's the answer, having no tools in between situation and weapon is very dangerous. And I'm not just talking about the weapon of a pistol or a firearm. I'm also talking about the weapon of sex and sleeping around and leaving your seed wherever you want to because you think you have enough money to pay for a child or children. These are weapons. And if you are young and misguided, you are going to misuse those weapons. So I think that the responsibility of the older generation is to make sure that our younger generation, especially those who come into finance, have access to guidance and wisdom from either those who have been there before or those who have genuine concern about the stability of these young people and understanding how reckless life can get when you don't have guidance and you have a lot of money. It can get out of hand fast. So I think the older generation needs to take responsibility for that. And I think the younger generation, those with the wealth, those who have that wealth, need to also seek that out so that you have a harmonious relationship between the older and the younger. Because your younger are your warriors. Your older is your wisdom. You guys have to work together. You have to. So if that circumstance is going to play out, you have to work together. So I'm hoping that somebody can get in the ear of these young men and young men like them. I don't want to single them out like they are the only ones. Like they certainly aren't the first two instances we've heard of people being reckless with their weapons, whatever they may be. But yes, you know, I'm hoping that somebody can get to them, give them that nugget of wisdom that will help guide them in a safer path, you know, for their contribution to the community fabric and their own lives. So I'm hoping that's on the schedule and on the menu. So I did tell you guys that the nacho cheese was going to be a two-parter. I'm going to briefly mention something that I came across earlier today that I thought was just amazing, because this is exactly what I was trying to do when I went looking in Chat GPT. So I came across this website. It's called rapidrepairai.com. And what this alleged website does, you upload your credit report, and this AI will begin to fix things on your credit report by spitting out certain letters needed to either dispute or begin a dispute for things on your credit report that should come off. So you don't have to write anything. You just input your credit report and it outputs everything else. I have not had a chance to try this yet, but I do think it's worth it. The reason why this caught my eye is because one of the things that I see a lot of when it comes to advertisement on especially Instagram, I see a lot of credit repair programs. People are charging quite a bit of money for certain credit repair or certain information related to increasing your credit score or getting your credit report to look the way that you need it to look in order to be beneficial to you financially. That is like right behind like the Bitcoin trading and people trying to get you to sign up for that. So once I saw that AI had gotten a hold of how to facilitate this, I knew it was going to be a matter of time. Like I said, when I went over to ChatGPT, that's exactly what I was telling it to do, was write dispute letters for certain things. And let me tell you, these letters work. So if you have been contemplating spending some money on getting your credit fixed or going to one of these credit repair people who, they want to get you trade lines, whatever those are. If you are interested in going down that path, I encourage you to check out things like this rapidrepairai.com, and also get on the internet as far as YouTube to see if there are some steps that you can do yourself before you get to a point where you have to actually pay somebody to do your credit repair for you. Listen, y'all, Dave has joined the show, and I'm laughing because he don't keep showing up on my show with this Klingon profile pic.
I keep forgetting to change it. I'm gonna be honest.
Listen. I'm just letting you know it's there. If you want to change it, I'm not gonna stop you, but you looking more and more like this Klingon by the episode, Dave.
By the
How are you,
day.
Dave? Happy Sunday. Welcome to Nacho Sunday's 14th episode.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's Nacho's opinion, it's not my opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. You understand me?
How's your Sunday so far?
Man, I literally just woke up like 10 minutes ago to get ready for work to get out.
Crying. That's 10 minutes ago. Go back to bed, Dave. Bye.
No, I had to get up. I gotta go to work.
Oh, okay. Well, Dave is getting ready. This is funny because I listen to your show when I'm getting ready to work, and you listen to my show when you get ready.
I know that's how I catch your show. Like,
I'm crying.
Like,
that's
the 6 o'clock is when I normally get ready and stuff.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's why that's why you always see me here at least for like.
Is in the chat. Commodity has just joined us. What's up, Diddy? Please make sure you guys check out commodityproductions.com.
Okay.
You said what, Dave?
Nah, I was just saying, like, I normally get up at 6 o'clock. That's why it works out perfect on Sundays for you when you do Nacho Sunday.
That's right. I appreciate you pulling up to the show. I'm gonna let you get the sleep out your eyes while I go to the mid show so we can say thank you to some of our sponsors.
We got sponsors now?
Yeah, we got sponsors. Wait a minute. First of all, we're gonna go to the disclaimer because Dave done just made me have to disclaim some stuff right quick.
Oh Lord.
Should I be reading this?
Nah, after that.
All right, that's enough.
A woman is the most potent expression of feminine energy in the harmonic equation of the human experience. Growing Down, an observation of the masculinization of the Black American woman, Volume 1. Get your copy at FibonacciBrown.com.
To stir it up a little bit.
You are now listening to the Nacho Podcast, brought to you by the EBL Network. If it ain't exclusive, it don't matter. It's not your time to talk, it's time to listen. So pull up to the table with your plate and pay attention. It's not your time to talk, not your Sunday. It's something different. This is not your opinion, and you don't wanna miss it. It's not your time to talk. It's time for the show.
It's not your time to talk. It's time to listen. That's our very own Commodity. Thank you, Commodity. I love my midtro. Not the intro, it's the midtro. So welcome back to Nacho Sundays, where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. I am your host, Fibonacci, Big Nacho Brown, and this is the 14th episode. So I appreciate you guys pulling up to the 14th episode with me. Thank you so very much. I see I have some more people in our chat. 702, thank you for pulling up. I appreciate that. And the Smoke of New York is in the chat. Shout out to the Smoke of New York. Listen, before I get too far into the show, I do have a very special announcement. I don't want to forget. Today is my mother-in-law's birthday. I want to give a big shout out to her. Happy birthday to you. She's a fellow Gemini. Hey, she got to be a very, very amazing and epic woman as a Gemini. So that's what I'm saying. So happy birthday to you. Appreciate
Gemini.
you and all you do.
Gemini.
Yes, don't start, Dave. Don't start. You'll be my first kick you off the show.
Oh wow. You can't. I got host powers.
See, that's all we've been through. Anywho,
Slim salute.
moving on into our Nacho. Are you going to stick around for the rest of our Nacho day, or are you going to get ready for work?
I'm on my way right now. I'm gonna stick around until at least I get some stuff. You know.
Great. So this week in our Beefy Nacho, as you guys know, on the Beefy Nacho, we talk about conflict wherever it may exist in the world. And this week, in the Beefy Nacho, we are trying to figure out why women have beef with BBLs. Why y'all so mad at these BBLs, ladies? What is going on? I need to understand, because I don't think these women know they're gonna come out misshapen. Let's just be real. Some of these women are coming out looking like cartoon characters.
Wait, hold on. So there are women out there that are getting mad that they got the BBL after they got the BBL.
They got the Miss Incredible package.
Right.
And they look like cartoon characters. They don't look like natural women anymore. They look like helium-filled flesh bags.
Right.
And it's bad. And I don't understand why it seems that this misshapen kind of thing is a recent thing, because it didn't seem that when women were getting the BBLs, like in the beginning when they came out, maybe, I don't know, 15 or so years ago, it didn't seem they were misshapen like Lego. Do you guys remember the toy Mr. Potato Head? You remember how you could snap the pieces on? This is how women are coming out now, like snap-on pieces. It's like they swallowed a television or something. Like, I don't understand why there's no insistence on at least attempting to be natural. Like this is gonna it doesn't look like a human. Listen, this is Nacho Sundays, where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. And yes, I said it. It don't look human. It just doesn't. Now, I don't know who likes this stuff, but I have heard when I'm on the internet, okay, I see there are men who do tend to be very appreciative of these BBLs on these women. You know, oh, you look great, oh my, this, that, and they're trying to get in the DMs and all of that carrying on. I see a lot of women, yes, sis, oh, body, sis, yeah, you know, they're really like the seem to be sometimes the bigger cheerleaders. And then there's this section of men who are like, you look better before the BBL. Like, what you gonna do that for? And they don't like how it feels. They're not particularly impressed with how it looks or how it came out. And it just leads me to ask, who are we really trying to impress with these BBLs? Who do we want to get the kudos from? Are we glad that we can impress other women? Or do we think men like it? Or are we thirsty for the attention of the men who like it that show up in the DMs?
Or the D, all of the, I feel like it might be D, all of the.
You might be right, Dave. Like, I'm trying to understand why it, like, to me, what it seems like from the inception of this whole thing, where this was a phenomenon that started to take off, it seems like it's just gone into a direction where they don't care how it looks. It's just, you know, they doing a quick wham bam and getting you out of here. And they don't care about, you know, how it's shaped. They say, hey, you wanted the Miss Incredible? I gave you the Miss Incredible. And you really are out here looking like a cartoon. Your legs don't match the rest of you. You got a bag of laundry hanging off your back. Like, it begins to look strange. And it's like the only way you can even feel comfortable is if you have on something skin tight to show off this man-made anomaly. And it just, I don't understand who this is supposed to impress. And if you have regular women, we're not talking about people who are in an industry where their bodies make them money. I'm not talking about your porn stars, your sex, your wall workers or anything like that. I'm talking about your regular mom going to get a mommy makeover. And she comes back with, you know, a whole new trunk shaped like a trunk and no waist. And we're trying to figure out, you know, did you have to look like that? Or could you have just gotten you back? Right. Like it's like this excess of this need to look extremely sexual. Not, you know, just look like yourself, but to look extremely sexual. And I just don't understand who it's supposed to be for, because it seems like the audience that you're trying to get don't like it. And it seems like the audience that does like it, you don't want to be involved with, or it's other women.
You know, well, I think it has to do with the fact that people strive for perfection in an imperfect world. And they feel like because if they're getting a BBL, or even with what God, was that one guy that got the leg extensions, for he used to be like 5'5", and now he's like 6'2" or something like that. Like,
oh, wow.
They feel like that's the only way that they're going to be able to be successful, or to be able to be in a relationship, or whatever, what have you, in the world. People don't understand is like not everybody is supposed to look the same. Not every physical feature on a person is supposed to be the same as somebody else, or this big or that big, or this thick or that thick, this thin or that thin. You see what I'm saying?
I agree.
Like, no.
And that's another thing. Everybody ends up looking exactly alike. There's no variety. There's no, no, originality. Your style can be picked up at the local beauty supply. And it's like, is that what we were going for? To go out here and go under the knife to look like everybody else?
And
Was
then
that the
also,
goal?
and then, and then you also got to factor in. You got to think about it, especially with cosmetic surgery. It's something quick instead of having to take, because it takes what, at least a couple years if you were to do the complete workout, like complete workout to
Yeah.
try to get a nice little butt or this, that, or third, what have you. So, it takes a couple years to do that. So then
But you can, if you were to be able to control your eating impulses, your
hmm
diet, like control it in a way that shows that you really care about your body,
hmm
it wouldn't take a couple of years. It
right,
wouldn't take as long,
right,
because I was right at about 200 pounds. I'm
go
five
ahead,
five.
go ahead and talk that,
Okay.
go ahead and talk that sexiness shit. Go ahead. Yeah, I see where you're going with this.
I was right at about 200 pounds. I'm 5'5".
That's what you want.
You're not gonna hide 200 pounds of anything on me. And I started walking. I cut out meat and I started walking. And when I tell you 40 pounds like to have fell off of me, like I would look back at the treadmill, like, did I might need some of that back. That was too fast. But that was just 60 days, 60,
hmm
75 days. So we're not talking about something that it's not instantaneous, but it's not something that's so far out of the range of commitment that it's like, nah, I'm gonna just go under the knife. Because once
hmm
you go under the knife and you realize you're not going to maintain that either, you're going to feel like you probably should have just did the workout.
Yeah, that's because I think that's the other thing they tell you. Like even after you get the BBLs, the tummy
You
tucks, or
still
this,
got
that,
to,
and the third.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
still
still
got to
got to
take care of
maintain
your
it.
body. So
You know, you got to go in. You got to go back into the doctor every 3,000 miles to get your blood tune up. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
yeah. And then you end up saying crazy stuff to trainers who are at the gym. They got regulars that come in, people who really want to take care of their body, and here you come in there, all stiff and looking like you work out. Talking about some, I just want to lose a little bit of my stomach. And it's like, nah, you got to total body work all of that out.
hmm
All of it. Like, you can do
But then
crunches
even
till the cows come home, but you got to
and
work
then
your body.
right now, then the other thing is a lot of women don't under. What's funny is a lot of women that also get those kind of surgeries. They don't realize there are men out there that like that may can't I can't talk that like those type of body shapes, but the problem is those women don't want that type of man. You see what I'm saying? Which is weird. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, you want a man.
There was a guy who was
Good.
on like it was like a TikTok reel, and
Mm-hmm.
there was this lady. She was shapely, but she had like a couple of little rolls. Like she was like, she went in and she came out, but she was like rolly in the middle. You know what I mean?
Right,
And
right.
he's like pointing to, like, he had an arrow going to like the middle row. And he's talking about, ladies, what is this? I don't know what
Lord.
this is, but that drives me crazy. Like I do everything in my house for that roll right there. Like you don't even think that's kind of where the question comes from. Who are they doing these BBLs for? Because they are, ladies, these BBLs are 30 in y'all. For real. You out here looking like you swallowed a flat screen. And I know you feel like you got your humps in the right place in the front and in the back, but you look like a Lego from the side. Like you look like you swallowed an extra big paper clip. Your thighs don't match. It's not sexy. It's just
That
not.
part,
It's
man.
not. It doesn't look human. You look like an alien trying to fake it on Earth. Like it's not. A lot of you were so beautiful before this. Some of you
Mm-hmm.
had gorgeous shapes before this. And I don't understand who it's for. And it just, to me, it involves entirely too much risk. And in bringing up risk, I want to just go ahead and transition into the veggie nacho, where
Well,
we
let me
talk
get
about
this.
health.
let me get this one final thought out before you
Go
transition to
ahead, Dave, because it's gonna
my
be on the
apologies.
same vein as these BBLs. Go ahead.
The amount of money that they're paying for these surgeries, but they don't realize that you save more money in the long run if you just do it. If you get if you're gonna do that, you might as well get a personal trainer. You'll save more money
Talk
that way.
crazy, Dave, and a chef.
Uh huh.
Say and the chef, like you can get both.
That's right.
Because
My
I
bad,
think
y'all. Let me get.
what's that? Door Fresh
That's a
or
fact.
Fresh Door or something.
Yep,
They
I know what you're talking about.
they delivering every day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
But I was gonna transition into the health portion of the veggie nacho and stay on the same topic of these BBLs because, as you know, recently in the news, DC Young Fly um, unfortunately lost his fiance, Jackie O. They share children and they were in a long-term relationship. She went to get a mommy makeover and recovering from that process, she did not recover. And from what has been brought into the news, they are looking into the person or the doctor who did the surgery. Apparently, he wasn't vetted, and he had already had some complaints that should have rose some red flags. And
Oh man.
basically some of the fat that was transferred made it into certain vessels and airways that may have either suffocated her airways
Mm-hmm.
and caused her demise. So, from the Nacho Sunday show and from our EBL exclusive Battle League Network platform, we want to extend our condolences to DC Youngfly and his
Mm-hmm.
family during this difficult time. We know that it's not going to be easy to get a story out there so that everybody can know what's going on and the truth. But we just want to make sure that we over here on EBL, Exclusive Battle League Network, are respectful of the situation. And again, we extend our condolences.
Mm-hmm.
This does bring in the darker side of getting a BBL. Now, I know we lightly touched on it in the beefy nacho where I said it was women versus BBLs, but this is about health as well. And we have to make sure if we're going to do these things, if we're going to take these risks, we understand what's going on. Some of us feel like a process can be out for a long time and that automatically makes it safe. Oh, they've been getting BBLs for, at least almost 20 years now. The process is in and out, so it's nothing. It's great, and we give too much credit to the process, not realizing we might have to look a little deeper before we take that leap and maybe decide, what, I don't think it's worth it to do this because the risk is too great. We trust too much sometimes in the process when it comes to our health, especially when we put our health in the hands of doctors. We expect entirely too much of our doctors. We just do. And I know this is Nacho Sundays, where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. And I know some of y'all ain't gonna like what I just said. But if you've watched any of my episodes before where you hear me talk about doctors, I'm the one telling you to go into that doctor's office and ask questions. Don't go into your doctor's office like a church and just listen to what the doctor says and you just, okay, yes, sir, all right, and you leave. And you throwing any prescription down your throat they give you. You're not researching it. You're not looking into it. Same goes for any procedure you have. I don't care if they're going to remove a toenail. You look at the risks, you ask the questions, and you make sure that if there is any iota of information specific to your process and that doctor, you look to see if you can get some feedback from those situations because that's your life.
Yep.
It's such that young lady, Jackie O, that baby was what, 35, 32?
Mm-hmm.
I think she was 32. Like that, she had her whole life ahead of her. She was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
She was getting ready to pop out on y'all. She was getting that little makeover. And it's just so incredibly sad that this happened to her. She's got little babies. Like, you, in retrospect, was it worth so much? And listen, I'm not trying to blame this young lady at all. Let me be very clear. When I say I understand, you got 3 little babies, your body's been through a lot. You probably like, listen, I can't jump a jack, I can't jump a rope, I could barely do a pull-up. I'm picking up toddlers and shaking up bottles. That's all the exercise I got in me. I need something that's going to work for me and I can just maintain. I understand the thoughts that go into wanting to go forward with this process. I do, and I sympathize with that. I'm not at all trying to say she should be condemned for her choice. I'm not saying that. Most of where I feel the blame comes in this process is on the doctor. If he had complaints, where is the board that vets these doctors that says, hey, you've got one too many complaints about this particular procedure? You're suspended. You can't do this no more. Where is that wall of protection between the unknowing medical language patient and this doctor who could just knock her out, cut up on her body, do whatever he want to do, sew her back up and wake her up, and it's like, oh yeah, I did this and the other, not really knowing if that's actually what happened. Like,
I don't even think it's the doctor. I don't. You missing one other factor that you got to blame on it.
Who?
Society. This all goes back to society wanting people to be quote unquote perfect.
This is my thoughts on that. When it comes to making the decision, you have got to be solid enough in yourself to be in it but not of it. You could be in society and not of society. Okay. Mm-hmm. Didn't Stevie wanted to tell us that? Am I telling my age right now? Stevie wanted to tell us you can be in it but not of it. I don't know if y'all remember that.
You already told us your age. You're 26. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, forever. But you can be in it and not of it. So no matter the pressures of society, you don't have to succumb to those pressures. You always have a choice. I'm a Detroit girl. I start my show every episode with "What up, though, family?" That's a Detroit greeting. There have been plenty of times where my own Detroit family will walk up to me and ask me where I'm from. Mm-hmm. So you could be in it and not of it. Okay? So it's still up to you at the end of the day. Do I give in to this pressure to look a certain way, even to the point of it looking cartoonish and unhuman on me? Because I can look like a stripper without being a stripper, or I can look like a sexual being without even being that kind of a sexual being. Like, is it worth it?
Right.
Who is it for? And why does it mean? Why is the pressure on you so great that you were willing to go under a knife during a surgery to accomplish it? Why?
Please scan your items.
I see you in the chat, NWA. I appreciate you pulling up. No weirdos allowed. Thank you for pulling up to the 14th episode of Nacho Sundays, where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. And we are in our veggie nacho where we're talking about health. And we mentioned Jackie, the late Jackie O, DC Young Fly's fiance. They have children together. And we were just talking about some of the health risks involved with such a procedure like getting a BBL. Is it worth the risk? Is it worth the outcome? 3 babies don't have a mama now. Because some doctor is out here, throwing out BBLs like a crapshoot, not taking enough precaution or not recognizing enough of the available dangers to make sure this young lady's life was preserved. Like it's so like I'm really fine. I don't know if you guys can tell my voice cracking, but I'm really like stunned at how young this woman was and that this happened to her. And she was gorgeous. I don't know how she felt about her body. I really don't. But from what I could see of her, she was a beautiful woman. Like I don't understand. I don't understand what she saw that she could have been so dissatisfied with, but I don't think it should have cost her her life. I don't think
Exactly.
that. And it's just a really, really, really sad circumstance. So, if you are considering getting a procedure that way, or if you are considering getting a BBL, please make sure you're vetting your doctor. Make sure you understand the risks involved. Make sure you absolutely understand the aftercare and the recovery involved. I have known a few young ladies who have gotten BBLs, and the part they were not prepared for is the aftercare. From what I understand, it is very painful. Infection can set in. You have to get certain massages in order to maintain in the beginning this the surgical process or procedure, and it's also you from what I understand, you may even be bedridden. Like you may
Hmm.
be to where you can't like move around. You're going to need like some additional hands around you to help you during the recovery process. So I just encourage you to make sure, if you learn nothing else from this tragic circumstance with Jackie O, please make sure you're vetting your doctors. Make sure you are fully aware of what goes into a decision like this. And if by any chance you can avoid doing this and just going to the gym to enhance your regular body, please do that. Like 5 weeks in the gym beats anybody's knife every day of the week. And you're
Hmm.
going to love it. You're going to look fantastic. You're going to look younger. Because listen, I've seen plenty of old faces with a fake behind. Plenty. Like your butt is 26, your face is 86. So you're going to get these parts stuffed in you, and the rest of you don't match. If you go do the workout, it's a total body workout. Total body. So I encourage you guys to definitely make sure you're reading all the information involved to make sure you're safe and protected if you do decide to get a BBL, because you want to have you a hot girl summer. So protect yourself.
I don't
And
know. I
on
feel
the
like
second note of the veggie nacho, where we talk about health, I know you guys have seen me over here stirring this cup. I want to tell you guys that as of recently, my household has become a juicing household. We have become juicers, y'all. We
uh,
making juices.
uh,
And when I tell you, I have got a watermelon, apple, orange, ginger juice. It's almost wrong to drink this on camera because I should be alone with the lights off.
oh Lord.
It's that good. It's that good. It's delicious. Like I go in the gas station like looking at the juice section. Y'all been lying to me all these years. This is what the watermelon juices should taste like.
Right.
So yes, I have become a juicer. So please send me your juicing recipes if you are a juicer. I'm trying to figure out all types of healthy combinations that come out delicious. Me too, Miss Vicious. She said I love ginger anything. Listen, I'm trying to get all the health benefits. So if you guys have some recipes, please send them over to me at Fibonacci Brown, the number 9 dot or at gmail.com. And I will gladly be trying out some of your recipes and letting you know how I like them when I'm on Nacho Sundays. So moving into the last portion of our show,
I
last
just want to
portion
add
of our
one
Nacho.
more thing. I want to add one more
Oh,
thing
I'm
if you don't mind.
Dave. That's the second time I did that. I'm sorry, Dave.
No, I
Let
just
me
go,
get it.
I just want to go back to the whole, the whole surgery thing, right? Real quick.
Yes,
So
yes.
like the other thing is like you said, like people when they get the BBLs, they gotta get the whole aftercare. You gotta get literally the whole support system. You gotta get somebody to rub it out.
Yeah.
because this, that, and the third. Like even when I was talking about earlier about the guys that get the leg extensions, like they said that after you get that and once you recover from that, you can't even run no more for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Wow.
Because
Wow.
literally what they're doing is they're breaking the bones in your legs and then letting them grow back to, and then pretty much you know how when you break a bone, the body melds it back together.
Yeah.
That's literally what your bone is doing. So that, you know, when you welding something, you know how when I don't know, for people that don't know, when you weld something, when you're welding like two pieces of metal together, right?
Hmm.
That spot where it got melted, that's the weakest point. That's literally what's happened. That's literally how the leg extension thing works. So that's why they say
You
you can't
welcome,
even run afterwards
NWA. Go ahead,
because of
Dave.
the
I
because
was
you
saying thank you. Go ahead.
no, but no, you're good. But no, that's literally how the whole leg extension thing works. So yeah, you got to be able to get another 6 or 7 inches. Yeah, but now you can't even do nothing.
You can't
You
run.
you can't
Wow.
run.
I did not know that.
Can't run. Fight. You can really can't. There's not much you can really do at that point because of the fact of that part where the bone fuses itself back together. That's a stressor point.
Wow. See, that's something that you would want to know if you're going to look into going under somebody's knife. Like that kind of stuff matters. And if there's a risk involved, if there's a sacrifice involved, you know how many women have gotten these BBLs, have gotten breast enhancements, and their enhancements leak
Hmm.
into their bodies. Like this is you
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 got.
really have to understand what you might think that you're gaining something, not really realizing what you might be giving up.
Hmm.
So that's a
You went
good
and got
point, Dave.
you went and got that software update. Thought you was doing something. Didn't realize what the bug. Didn't realize they had bugs in it. See.
Right. Now you got a virus you can't get rid of because you threw out the old software that was doing
Hmm.
fine. You just had to tune it
Hmm.
up.
Hmm.
This is really, really interesting. NWA told me to post the email address Fibonacci Brown9 at gmail.com. I appreciate you giving me that tidbit, and I did just that. So that is at the bottom of your screen. You should be able to see the email address where you can send me your recipes. Also, in addition to sending me your juicing recipes, you can also send me your feedback if you have tried any of the tips given to you in the nacho cheese portion of our show, where we give you money tips and, I give you websites and things to check out where you can earn some extra income. If any of you guys have tried any of those things out and they work for you, please send me an email and tell me. I would love to come back here and give your testimony on the show. If they are working out for you, hey, let's all make some money out here. That's why I come here and share these things with you guys. So
Oh yeah, do me a
please
favor.
feel free to use that email address.
That AI thing that you're talking about that does the credit report thing, send me that
Yeah.
when you get a
You
chance.
said send you that? I got you, Dave.
Yeah.
I need to actually put that in the chat. Let me where is okay, it's rapid repair AI.com.
Okay. RapidRepairAI.com. Go check it
Yes.
out.
Now, this is something I heard about. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to actually check this one out, but what's alleged, you put in your credit report, it's going to start spitting out ways to get your credit report deleted by generating the letters you need and sending them off.
Okay.
So check it out. Let me know what you if you do happen to use it, let me know how it works for you, because like I said, I was using that for Chat GPT.
Yep. I'm gonna go. I'll go. Be the guinea pig.
That's right. I know you will. You would enjoy that. I know you will.
All right then, Nachi. I'm gonna get off of here. Have fun, sweetheart.
I appreciate you coming up, Dave. Thank you so much. Have a great day at work.
I'm about to. We ain't got no truck. I might leave
Oh,
early.
shoot.
I
Thank
say I
you,
might leave.
Dave. Thank you for hanging
Look,
out with us.
I might leave at like. I might leave. Do a half a shift today, little key.
You didn't nobody heard you say that over here.
Hey, whatever.
We didn't hear you say that.
All right,
Just
bye.
start coughing or something. Anywho, thank you, Dave, for coming up to Nacho Sundays. And we are getting ready to devour the last portion of our show, of our nacho, which is called the Nacho Supreme. And in the Nacho Supreme portion of our show, we talk about knowledge nuggets, things that can help us get through life, things we wish somebody would have told us when we were younger, anything that can help us process this experience we're having. And this week, the Nacho Supreme is about exaggerating circumstances. I know that we are all aware of the Karen phenomenon, okay? And some of us, we know we are annoyed by Karens. We know that Karens are just, extra overdoing it. But sometimes we can't just quite put our finger on why it's so incredibly wrong. And the reason why it's so incredibly wrong is because it exaggerates circumstances in order to maximize a tragic outcome, in order to demonstrate an abuse of power. And if I could impart anything, especially to young people or someone who may have challenges with controlling their temper, controlling their emotions, one of the things I would suggest that they add into their fundamentals of emotional control: don't exaggerate the circumstance. Stick to what the topic is, what the issue is, so that it can be fixed. Don't continue to add ingredients and then you all of a sudden don't even know what you're cooking anymore. When you exaggerate the circumstance, you actually create a karma for yourself that works against you. Because if I walk by you and I accidentally bump your elbow with my elbow, and you turn around, he punched me in the elbow. She punched me in my arm. And you're exaggerating it like I punched you when really we just walked by each other and grazed one another. You're exaggerating it so that it can seem like it was worse than what it is. So when you do that, if I get punished because now I'm charged with assault for punching you in the elbow, when really we barely touched each other, we just touched at the elbow, I might go to jail. You might take me away from my family. I might be a source of income for my family. So now they don't have that income because you have exaggerated a circumstance to make it seem as though I've done more damage to you than I actually did. And as a result, all of these other circumstances have piled up. And while you might feel, yes, I'm vindicated, you should have never touched my elbow, you've now created this horrible karma for yourself, because as a result of your exaggeration, all these other things have fallen out innocently. And it's not going to work in your favor in the long run. Sometimes karma doesn't show up exactly how it goes in. An eye for an eye might not always be the instance. You think that it's your eye, so it's the eye of the person who poked your eye. Sometimes it's the eye of somebody further down in the bloodline who could have kept their eye if you'd have just did right. So it's this knowledge nugget is: don't exaggerate the circumstances. Don't create negative karma for yourself by adding negativity to unnecessary innocent situations because you want to exercise a power because you in your feelings. You didn't return my call, so now I'm gonna bust out all your tires. And although it makes me feel good in the moment, the karma I've created for myself is maybe your phone got stolen and you could never call and tell me because your phone got stolen. So as I was calling all these times, it wasn't that you weren't answering, it's that you didn't even have a phone. So rather than show concern and say, hey, are you okay? I just came over here to make sure you're all right. You're like, no, I'm going to take ownership and possession over you and get into my narcissistic bag, and I'm going to slash all your tires because how dare you not return my calls? And then when you finally found out what's going on and you're all in your feelings, oh, I know you was with somebody else. I know you was doing something else. I know you was with that heifer. I know. My phone got stolen. I haven't had a way to communicate with anybody. I didn't even talk to my parents. Now look at all the negative karma you've created for yourself. because you exaggerated the circumstances. So make sure when you evaluate a situation, you evaluate it for what it is, not for the extreme, exaggerated circumstance you want it to be, so that you can seem justified for doing something extreme that you probably shouldn't do if you think twice about it. And that's going to be our nacho. That nacho was delicious this week. I don't know about y'all, but I enjoyed my nacho. Thank you guys for pulling up. I appreciate you guys for pulling in with your comments. You know, my chat is a huge part of my show. Thank you, NWA. You definitely participated in a great way today. Thanks for contributing to the conversation. Make sure you tune in to Nacho Sundays every Sunday at 6 p.m., where I will be here, your host, Big Nacho, where it's not your opinion, it's Nacho's opinion. And we are out. Happy Sunday. Uh-oh.
We appreciate everybody for stopping by. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. And don't just watch the battle, be part of the battle. All you gotta do, look in the description, click the link to the Discord, be part of the audience live.
Oh, this juice is magical. I'm trying to tell you.